Good morning. All right, well, the sun's coming up and it's going to be a pretty neat day. Going to head out and do some dry washing and see how we do. So let's get started. All right, on another trip. I've got everything in the car. I've got all my sleeping gear up on the roof, my cot and sleeping bag, and I got an extra blanket, and I got a bag up there also which has my cold weather clothes, you know, like an over jacket and some extra gear like that. And so all my sleeping kit is up on the roof in that container. And in here in the vehicle, I've got my dry washer and basic tools, just the basic things I need for dry washing. I have some classifier screens for when I do the panning, and if I do some panning, I'll probably do some panning, but I'm not planning on doing a whole lot of panning. I'm planning on really just running material for the most part. And but for sampling, you know, I've got the equipment to do some sampling, to find a decent spot. Also have some food along on the trip, and my coffee pot, and my little camp stove. And I've got about 3 gallons of water for drinking and about 5 gallons of water for processing, for panning primarily. And we've got a little bit of camera gear and metal detector. So on the way now, just need to get the normal stops, need to get some fuel and get some more gas. I need to refill my gas cans for my dry washer and also for my gas-powered vacuum. I brought the gas-powered vacuum along, which sometimes comes in real handy. So it's going to be a nice trip. It's going to be a short trip. We're going to be headed out to an area where I've been before, and I found pretty good gold. You know, usually a little bit of gold everywhere I dig. Not a lot of gold. It's not very dimensional gold. It's one-dimensional. But it's an ancient placer area. So we're going to head out there for the day, and then the overnight, and then part of tomorrow. So it's a short trip, but it's going to be a nice trip just to get back out there again and get back into it, you know. So it's going to be pretty fun. I'll check in from time to time and we'll see how we do. Thanks very much. Today I'm sending out some pay dirts. I'm sending out pay dirts to Illinois, New York City, or actually New York State, Alaska, and Oregon. I'm sending these out to some customers who purchased them off of eBay. And you can find the pay dirts that I have for sale. You can find them on eBay. You can find them on Etsy. And if you search the name of my channel, if you search GTAO VLOGS, you can just put that into the search bar and you'll find my listings. I have 10 listings on eBay right now and 4 listings on Etsy. The best way to purchase pay dirts from me is to purchase them on my website. And the website is GTAO VLOGS.mozello.com. So that's the best way. That's the most direct way. You purchase them right through me, and we get rid of the middleman. And you can do that with PayPal. So anyway, it's pretty exciting. I've got 4 shipments going out today to 4 different states, and this is a way to help support my prospecting and mining, and it greatly helps. So thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Just to give you an idea of the type of stuff I bring along on a short trip like this is, here I've got the blower for the dry washer. I've got some cold drinks, some big blocks of ice in here, and this is the panning kit. Got all the things for panning in here, including my tub. I use this for my actual tub, or I just use a large pan and pan it with a smaller pan. I've got some warm boots and some work boots down in here, metal detector, small and a large rake. Over there's the gas blower for the gas vacuum connected to that bucket. A few other miscellaneous tools. In that box there, I've got the majority of my food and my cook stove and things like that. And then in the back here, you can see I've got a chair and a table, a few extra buckets, knee pads, hand tools, small tools like that, gasoline, some more tools here. Here's the dry washer, and then you can see I got a long handled shovel and a short handled shovel, small shovels. I got a few different classifier screens, and then there's the 2 rakes. I also use this big bar quite a bit. I use the big bar quite a bit, and I use this cultivator quite a bit right here. A few other items on this side here. I've got some cold weather clothes, heavy jacket, automotive tools and things like that, fix-a-flat, flares, toe straps, come along, all kinds of stuff down underneath the seats in there. And here's another container with a tub with some other, there's an extra stove in here, there's some white gas fuel, I've got a lantern, miscellaneous things in there. Up here in the top, I've got all my sleeping gear. Got a sleeping bag and a cot, extra blanket, cold weather clothes right there, cold weather gear, and then and that's a pillow right there. So I've got pretty much all the sleeping gear is up here on top of the vehicle. Works out real nice like that. So, and then here's another look at the gas vacuum. This is a do-it-yourself gas vacuum. I used to use this as my blower for the dry washer, but I had some problems with it, and it's been fixed now, so it still functions now as a good, I use it as a vacuum, and it works great for that. So a couple different tool kits I've got in the car as well, and that's kind of a rundown. All right, we made it out here. I just wanted to take a moment here to show you that what we're dealing with here is an ancient riverbed that has been uplifted and then eroded. You know, probably hundreds of thousands of years of river action caused these water eroded rocks, these water eroded cobbles that you can see in here, the water worn cobbles, all sorts of different rock types, a lot of quartz, a lot of granite, there's a little bit of slate and some schist type rocks, but there's a mixture of water worn river cobbles, all different sorts of rocks, small up to maybe the size of a good sized cooler. And then there's also some angular rocks that are that are also mixed in between, which don't appear to be water worn. So talking about different type of flood events that occurred in this probably that would indicate more of a river rather than an inland sea. And what's happened is this whole area has been uplifted for hundreds of thousands of years, and simultaneously it's been eroded for hundreds of thousands of years. So you've got erosion, you've got secondary and tertiary deposition of the gold, redeposition of the gold, and that's kind of what we're dealing with here. So it was a pretty nice drive out, and I stopped on the way and filled up with fuel, and got my fuel all set up for the truck and for the dry washer. So I'm going to get that set up and get it running, and I'm going to just run dirt the rest of the day here, and then I'm going to have a camp tonight and run some more material tomorrow, and just get in a lot of digging, get some good digging in for the start of this new year. A lot of lead. I put three red pieces of lead in there. Let's see if we can see that. You can see some gold. You can see some gold up in here, which is a great thing. And I can see a lot of lead. And the other red one is down here. I put 3 of them in. I didn't need to do that. I didn't realize I was going to recover that much lead from the ground. So didn't need to add any lead to test the panning. I like to do that just to test my panning. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get the gold so that it's visible, so I can see how much there is and I can get it into the snuffer bottle. But there is some gold in there, which is terrific. Different sizes. Here's my three red ones. I'm going to put those over there. 1, 2, 3. There you go. All right, that's the first gold of the new year. First gold of 2018. Let's see here. Some real fine finds, and then there's a couple little pieces in here. See that lead? That's all lead from hunters. It's all split shot, bird shot. Yeah, there's a few little pieces of gold over here, so I'm going to move those with my finger, and I'm going to get them over to the side there, so that I can get them in my bottle. And I'll dump all this into a little cup or a water bottle or something, and I'll go through all this later. There you go. That was the first spot of the new year, and we found gold. Awesome. got another run done from a slightly different area, and I got it classified down, and I've got the lead from yesterday in here, and you know what gold we did find is in here. So I've got another sample here, to another half-an-hour run to go ahead and pan this one out. We'll see how this goes. It's real close to where I was, but it's a slightly different layer. And what I'm, you know, even though I've been to this area many times before, you always got to keep learning about the area. I'm still kind of trying to figure out exactly where the best areas are to spend my time digging. And so this is a pretty good narrow sample. You know, I really tried to avoid contamination from other layers, so I could hopefully get a better idea of what's happening out here, and the type of deposit that we have. So let's see how it goes here. This is the second reason I use the fish net. The first one is to get the floating organic material. The floating organics don't really matter until you get down to where you're trying to do your final panning. When you're doing your finish panning, and if you've got a lot of floating organic material in there, it really makes it tough. So that's where the fish net comes in, and it also works well to get out that waste material down in the bottom of the pan there, so you can have some more depth to actually work your pan. You can see I'm not using the tub. I have my pan set on the tub right now. In the past, and sometimes I still use the tub when I need more, or when I'm near water, or if I am going to do a lot of panning, I'll use the tub, and you can be a lot sloppier with that. I used my small metal detector, and I went over the oversize from yesterday and the oversize from this sample here, and didn't find any metal, didn't find any gold in the oversize, didn't find any pieces of bullets either, or large lead in the oversize in either of these areas. Now I can see some gold in there already. I can see a lot of lead. Yep. See if you can see that. Yeah, there you go. You can see that. You can see the little gold up in here. And then you can see all the lead. There's a lot of lead. Can't get the pen any closer to the camera than that, but you can see that. I believe you can see that gold there up in the. Okay, now I'm going to put enough water in the pan. All the gold's down in that corner, down there. Put enough water in the pan so I can tap it. You have to have water in order for the gold to, in order for you to tap the gold up. Now, let me see if you guys can see that. There you go. There's more gold down in here, some finer pieces. There's some of the larger pieces right there. And there's a lot of lead, there's a lot of heavies in here in the pan. But just because I have exposed that gold, go ahead and get it in your bottle. I'm not sure if you can see those. I'm counting, it's very tiny. I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 maybe little pieces in there. And again, I'm just going to get them in my bottle. Go ahead and put my cap on my snuffer bottle. The gold's in there. So that was a pretty good sample. And thanks for watching. Back here with another sample. I've got it already panned down relatively far, but I just wanted to go ahead and turn the camera on again to see what we find in this one. This is another layer. There's possibly a little bit of contamination in this sample, but for the most part I think it's another layer, so it should be interesting. So we're getting down here, and check and see what we got in here. I'm going to go ahead and get these organics out of here. This is the last for this trip. I've been here a little bit. I've been here a little bit less than 24 hours now. So it's a good trip, good short trip for the new year. I can really feel it. I can feel the shoveling and the digging, but it's good to get out, and I'm glad to get out. I'm glad to find a little bit of gold. So I'm going to go through the basic gear that I bring along on the trip, just to wrap up on this video, and I'll be packing up and heading on out of here. Okay, well, that's going to be the majority of it. Of course, like I said before, there's going to be some fine, there's a piece right there. There's going to be some fine gold that's still down in this black sand, but for right now, there's some more over there. I'm going to go ahead and get ready to use the snuffer bottle to get that up. I think you can see that. Oh, yeah. Now, this was a little bit shorter. This wasn't quite a half-hour run. And you can see the gold here. It looks like 12 or 15 little pieces. And I can also see some more down here. So what I'm going to do, like I've shown you before, is the important thing is to get that gold secured in your bottle. Okay, there's a couple more pieces, and there's some fine gold down in here in the black sand. I'm going to capture all that. I don't want to wait. I don't want to spend a lot of more time going on it, but you can see right here. Let's see if I can point it out without losing it. Here we got a speck, and then a couple little larger specks here. So what I'm going to do is just get that in the bottle. I even get a little bit of black sand. It doesn't matter. Got to go through it again anyway. I can see a little bit of gold right there on the tip of the black sand. So I just get it in the bottle, and now the rest of this stuff I'm going to put into my water bottle there to take back home. So that's it for that one. I'll check in a little bit here when I get the equipment set up for you guys to see a little bit of that. All right. Thanks for coming along. It was a good trip, short trip. I've been here about 24 hours now, and had a good night last night. Very peaceful night. It was real nice to get out again. First trip of the new year. Found a little bit of gold, found a lot of lead, and did some dry washing, got some exercise. So I'm glad about that. I sampled 3 different layers at this particular area, and really the second sample was probably the best. So a little bit of gold in each pan, and I showed you that. It's a good trip. Thanks a lot. First trip of the year. Thanks for coming along, and I'll see you next time.